News alert right now. Moments ago, President-Elect Donald Trump leaving the New York Times building after his first extensive interview since the election. Earlier, Trump released a video laying out his priorities for his first 100 days, including cutting regulations, growing the military, and saving American jobs. Listen.
On trade, I am going to issue our notification of intent to withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a potential disaster for our country. Instead, we will negotiate fair bilateral trade deals that bring jobs and industry back onto American shores.
Joining me now, Anthony Scaramucci, a member of President-Elect Donald Trump's Transition Committee and co-host of Wall Street Week on the Fox Business Network. Great to have you here. You're a busy guy these days.
Busy.
So, okay, so day one, he wants to get rid of TPP. Can our country actually grow without it? Yeah,
I think there's no question. You have to just remember the historical context of these deals. So since 1945 to today, Heather, the deals have been structurally unbalanced to the United States. And so more goods and services flow into our country, and then our goods and services are embargoed into the other countries. It was designed like that to create a burgeoning middle class around the world so that we could have more economic interdependence. All Mr. Trump is saying is that that's had the deleterious effect of hurting the working class and the middle class of the U.S.
Okay, so
we need to clean that up and make it more fair.
Okay, let's say we start manufacturing more stuff here at home. It's going to cost more to do that. We've got labor laws, union regulations, all of that. Are Americans willing to actually pay more? We like our cheap stuff.
I don't think it happens like that, actually. I think what ends up happening is between the tax incentives, the possible reconciliation of the Repatriation Act, getting the tax treaties right and getting that money back into the U.S., plus some really neat concepts like enterprise zones, I actually think you're going to lower the cost of goods. Remember, you've got to ship the stuff from China. You have to ship the stuff from Mexico. If it's made here in the United States, that will definitely reduce some aspects of the cost.
Okay, so enterprise zones, do you mean like going into some of the inner cities and maybe opening up some old plants there, doing something like that?
No question about that. I think there's a big message from the President-Elect that he's going to be president for everybody, and there's an extreme focus on the in the communities, in the inner cities, to give these people aspirational hope. He's spending a lot of time on that on the transition.
That's an interesting one, as we just talked about Ben Carson meeting with him today and possibly taking on a role of heading up housing and urban development. So that would be an interesting one. Back to TPP for a second, and one of the concerns is that if we get out, then China or another nation steps in to kind of fill that gap, and that they become the premier nation. What do you say to that?
Okay, so I would push back on that in two ways. Number one, those 11 nations probably don't want that to happen because they need to have some kind of balance of power in the Pacific against China. Not saying that they want to be unfriendly to China, but they just know that you get your best peace, the best opportunity for peace is when there's interdependence and there's relative strength.
It could be another country. It doesn't have to be China.
Yeah, but it would be probably China because they're right there in the backyard. But the United States, the great news about the United States, we're 24.3% of the GDP of the world. We are open for business in a new Trump administration. And my guess is that we're going to negotiate a terrific deal with those 11 countries. And it will be a new formed TPP. It'll be something fair to the American workers, fair to the middle class. I think the American people are going to be very proud of that.
Okay.